I have something. I have a few questions. There's a case in here of Sarah Duke versus Lake Washington School District. To be very transparent, I need to recuse myself from that. So I'm gonna ask AG Patrick Myers here for some advice on that. And then I had a few questions about that particular case. So AG Patrick Myers, how do I recuse myself?
I would just recommend not voting on that case closure, and then we can address if there are not, depending on the votes of the other commissioners, if there are enough votes necessary for that one, or if it needed to be maybe bumped to next month.
So given that the commissioners, two of our commissioners have already approved and seconded the cases, should we pull the case now and then go through the modified batch cases and approve again in second?
Apologies.
I have a question. What is the case number?
Case number is HRC 150401. It's in packet number 4, and it's the first case.
Okay.
Apologies, Chair. I heard a motion in a second, but I did not hear a vote on the cases yet.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go into discussion here. My questions here are, this is a case that's been ongoing for quite some time, and I've been hearing a lot of commentary on it from various groups of people. One of the reasons I am recusing myself is because I personally know the complainant, and I don't want to seem partial in any way. The questions I do have are perhaps for Ms. Cardeña is because this is a no reasonable cause finding, and I did see another case that had a no jurisdiction. It sounds like from our investigator on this case that this is more like a no jurisdiction as opposed to no reasonable cause, because we don't have, this is not within the Human Rights Commission jurisdiction. Can you advise a bit on that?
Commissioner, are you asking me regarding I think there were areas during the investigative process that were discovered. Some of the areas were outside the jurisdiction of the commission. What the investigator does in that case is that she will just mention those in the memo, and will just let you know that those areas were not really the purview of the commission because they were either outside the statute of limitation or because there was some issue with jurisdiction that we did not cover. However, the areas that were subject to jurisdiction of the commission and were fully investigated, that is the case, is no reasonable cause. So that is just an entire case memo that covers all of those issues that were in the complaint. However, because they were in the complaint, we have to address them in the closed memo, and that's why you see that areas were not jurisdictional were included in terms of letting you know that we couldn't go into those areas, but the case itself is no reasonable cause based on the evidence. It does not meet the threshold.
Okay.
And I'm happy to talk to you about that some other time if you wanted to go in more details, if you're going to pull the case.
Yes, yeah, I would like to make a motion to pull the case, but not yet. I do have a couple other questions, and I'm asking this mostly for the other commissioners as well, because I'm sure they're curious. Where do people go? Because I feel like some of the parts of this case that is still remaining in here that seems to be part of the human rights jurisdiction was around actually free speech. So I'm trying to figure out the boundaries of the Human Rights Commission, right, and where we have the right to kind of weigh in as a quasi-judicial group. So where do folks go then if they feel like their freedom of speech is what is actually causing the discrimination versus a direct say, for example, ableist or racist discrimination case that would clearly fall within the Human Rights Commission?
Yeah, the commission does not have jurisdiction to investigate First Amendment issues. That's why that will be non-jurisdictional for us. However, a complainant can always seek private counsel to address those issues that are outside the purview of the agency.
Okay. Okay, so it's private counsel. Thank you. I'm really struggling here. The way the case was written, I just want to be very, very clear that there's a distinction between, and this is not coming just from me, this is not my personal feeling, this is from the people who study global politics and who study these topics, is there's the way the case was written, it combines a religion and a political ideology and a government all together when those are actually separate. So I just wanted to voice that in case any members of the public do read the case, that the Human Rights Commission does not believe that religion should be dictating our decisions or any other political ideologies, and that we're fully a government-run entity.
The jurisdiction of the Commission on the Foreign State is limited to those issues that fall within your jurisdiction. I know that cases may, as you read them, may seem complex and that, but I am happy to discuss those issues, with you or with anyone who would like to, and just happy to go back to review that memo and clarify any areas that might be difficult to understand.
I think I would like to motion to pull this case for further discussion, and just because of the sensitivity around it, and also have that discussion with you if possible.
That's perfect.
I make a motion for us to pull the case HRC 150401 for further analysis.
And I second, I'd like to review it now that these issues are being pointed out. Thank you, Commissioner Tran.
Thank you. All right, I heard a motion and a second on pulling that case. Thank you very much. Continue with the case closures.